Hey everybody, welcome to the State of Decay 2 stream. I am one of your hosts. Where am I on here? Here I am.
Am I supposed to have these on?
You can put them on if you want. We're going to listen to the trailer later. So I'm Jeffrey Card. I'm a designer on State of Decay. And over here, we've got, of course, Brant Fitzgerald,
Hi.
who is our resident artist and player of the game, and Cale Schupman.
Brant's hype, man.
Cale Schupman is also a designer on the game. He does a lot of narrative content work on the game, and so we'll be chatting with him a little bit about his expertise. But one of the things that's really exciting is since the last time we streamed, a new gameplay trailer has come out for the game. So before we get started in the stream, I just wanted to show the gameplay trailer so we're all kind of on the same page and we can kind of react to it a little bit.
I'm
so
excited. Yeah.
That sound good? Okay, so let me make this sucker big on the screen so that we can. Okay.
Hello to all our friends.
Oh yeah, hello to all our friends, definitely.
Sailor, I'm glad you took my advice from like 4 hours ago and actually left chat.
Yeah, I went outside until it started raining and then came back in. So.
And then Takuro, I will wear these headphones any way I please, my good sir. I'm gonna mess them up even more.
It might not work any way you please, though.
Now they're a 80s era headband.
And you're not on camera anymore, so, you know.
Good.
It's the best choice for everyone.
Look at that sexy trailer.
Oh, man. We got more butt in our trailer than...
Okay. Couple of the meanest dudes on the block there. Farrell's.
Survive out here.
Johnny Farrell and his friend Stu.
I love the track that they chose for this.
Oh, yeah, I know. Estefoldo's asking what this song is.
I build so shelter tops.
I've got no idea, yeah.
You got to withstand the elements, no matter how unnatural.
I like the way they adapted the different directions and leaders you can have in the game to make the statements they're making in the trailer.
That's what I got excited about here, and I'm excited to talk about that more in depth.
Yeah.
So I think that's a concept that you
Hands down.
had actually pretty early on that I was able to sort of run with, and
Yeah, and the way you ran with it was great. I don't take any credit for it anymore.
To be tough enough to know when to give and when to take away.
Finney says that the song is Dawn Patrol.
that's cool.
So what do you have to offer?
Well, if you didn't have a weapons expert, you do now.
The certified badass of the community right here.
Yeah.
Warlord.
You know she's badass because she has a spiky.
Oh yeah, she means business. Yeah.
That move is great.
Is this where you tell me the real secret is teamwork?
Nope. The real secret: aim for the head.
Even if you have a grenade.
Or use
Make
a
it
grenade
irrelevant.
launcher.
The torsos! So many torsos. No.
No.
Ah!
I love that they worked that scream sound effect in.
Yeah.
Somebody could probably tell us what movie that's from.
So yeah, that is our trailer.
Yeah.
And like I hadn't actually seen that before it went out.
Oh, really?
Or I think I saw like a very early cut
Okay.
where it was like,
Oh, right.
it wasn't really coming across the same way. And so when I saw that trailer,
Yeah.
like the other night, I think it came out like in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I watched it. I was like, I like lost
Yeah.
my mind. I thought it was great.
Estefaldo points out that we say aim for the head and then we do a spin move where he takes the guy out the legs. It's like, yeah, don't do as we do, not as, or wait.
Do as we say, not as we
Yeah,
do. Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
We
You
give
know
you
what I
advice, you play how you want. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah, this game is all about choice.
Yeah.
So do we want to spin up the demo here while we keep chatting a little bit here?
Yeah.
Let's,
Are we playing the demo?
Yeah, you're totally playing. So Brant's job here is to play the demo like 5 or 6 times while we sit here and chat about stuff. So
Is the demo timed?
Yeah, the demo was 10.
Oh.
So we're playing the PAX East demo.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, so people in line were sort of policed by the demo to only take 10 minutes.
Oh, sure.
Because the line was like apparently around the block.
It was a massive line. It rivaled some of the larger, like, big release lines too.
That's cool. PAX East. Do it if you can.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
So the PAX demo, we kitted out characters with some fairly good gear.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time to build up your community, and we didn't want
Yeah.
people to just sort of start with nothing and only have 10 minutes to try to get anything. Like, we wanted them to see, this is where you can get in this game. So there's a lot of cars, a lot of guns, a lot of, bombs you can throw.
I think it's good. I think that those first 10 minutes are one of the big moments of excitement when you first pick up the game, because you're just learning all the cool mechanics, how the combat feels, all that kind of stuff. But it does take a while for the game to really sort of unfold and sort of reveal itself in terms of just how deep it goes.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of complexity and depth to discover, and you can't pick that up in 5 minutes.
No.
Like, you have to take some time with it.
No,
and so,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll be curious to hear when people pick it up, like, how late did they stay up that night? Are they still playing the next morning?
I've stayed up a few
Yeah.
nights myself playing this at home. Like, I got one of the sneaky home copies of the game that we get to take home, and yeah, it's been. I wonder if anybody noticed through like Rich Presence on Xbox Live that I was playing this game.
It's a totally different experience when you play a game that you've worked on at home for the first time, and you're sitting there on your couch, and it pops up just like any other game, and you're like, oh, I guess we made a game.
Who made this? What?
Yeah. Seems cool.
And also, I mean, when you're at work, a lot of times the only reason you play the game is to test a particular thing,
That's
and,
right.
and you're kind of ignoring the broader experience.
Yes.
But when you go home and you're not testing a particular thing, and you're just like taking the entire game in just for what it is, it's a totally different experience. And this game has been one of my best experiences with that I've ever had.
That's awesome. That's
Here's
cool.
Johnny Farrell.
You don't want that on your door.
That's how you do it.
Nice
How you
move.
but
He's
he missed in the
not. Guess
door.
what? He's
the door
not
with
dead.
him.
Oh man,
That's the thing about ferals now.
They're
they're
vicious guys.
they're harder to kill, I think,
vicious.
now than they used to be. Like,
Okay, I'm mad enough that I'm gonna get out and fight this feral though. I don't.
well, let's see how this goes.
Did they start your characters with any specializations, or are you?
Oh crap!
I think
no.
so. Yeah, I think some of them have various specializations.
Oh, I got him.
Nice.
So that points. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like shotguns. I'm gonna get pulled out. Oh no! Yeah, I did.
Oh, but at least they took the car away.
That's not going the full 10 minutes here, guys. He's he's heading for bad times.
Yeah. I don't even know what I was about to say.
Something special.
Nuggets One asks if we're releasing a demo. No, we're going to be releasing the full game on May 22nd or May 18th if you pre-order the Ultimate Edition. And the game comes out. It's going to be you can get it for free on Game Pass. Free-ish on Game Pass, or you can. The main game costs $30 if you go for the vanilla version. So it's not that expensive. So I'm really hoping that the game doesn't break people's banks, and that if you're interested in it, you can try it out. But yeah, no, there's not going to be a demo or anything. We're so close to release. We're just going to get that whole game out there.
I'm really happy about that price point. I hope people, just like enjoy just not having to drop $60, for a cool game. Like, games are expensive. Times are tough.
Exactly.
I know how it is. Like, but so hopefully it's a little break.
Yeah, no, I'm always I'm always thrilled when I get a game that only costs me something $20 or $30, and then it ends up being like the game that I spend months of my life on.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I feel like I got such a great deal.
Yeah.
But, anyway, I sound like a weird used car salesman now, so I'm gonna tamp down the financial talk.
Yeah, I think I've spent probably at least 25 hours on this game at home, just on the home copy. This is ignoring like thousands of hours that I have on the computer account at work, but yeah, even just at home, like I surprised myself, even with a kid and other games and game priorities, like, yeah.
Just as a disclaimer, this build is actually
Pick up the pace.
like 2 months
A few
old.
months old, yeah.
Yeah.
So now and then you're gonna, this is an older build. You're gonna see bugs and things like that many of which we have fixed.
Yeah.
And hopefully, when you play the game live, so it'll be in even better shape than what you're seeing here.
We've got the full force of the studio engaged and working on it, and it's fun to see actually, just how far it's gone.
So we had somebody asked. People have been asking about the beta. I don't really know much about the beta. You can check with our folks on social media and ask ask people at the Undead Labs or State of Decay Twitter accounts about that, because we're not really involved with that, so we don't know the answers for you. So sorry about that.
I think Sean's actually in chat too.
He might be. So Sean might be the one who can answer. If you're on Mixer, Sean might be able to answer your questions in there. If you're on Twitch, then either go check out Mixer, or you can contact Wonder, who runs our social media stuff, which is Undead Labs at Undead Labs on Twitter. So ask them about it. We don't know any answers about the beta. Somebody did. Tyrants asked, "Can you get lights at your base?"
Can you get lights? I'm actually really excited to answer this question because I found a base that is like a big base, so it requires a lot of community members and a lot of resources, and it's just it's an intense base to play. And I actually deleted one of my very vital facilities and installed a generator just so the lights would turn on when I was driving home and I could see it all lit up. So it looks so cool. So there are lights, and it's awesome.
Yeah. So I settled at the warehouse in Drucker, which has a built-in generator.
Yeah.
And that's one of the advantages. When you're going around and like choosing a base, sometimes you'll find a base that actually offers something you want just by default without you having to waste one of your precious open slots for. And so that's one of the things I like about that base, is just the power's there. I just gotta reach out and grab it.
Yeah, I'm more of a kind of story theme sort of player, so I did the ballpark just because that appealed to me.
You knew if you built it, they would come.
Exactly, Field of Dreams. Yeah. Why did we not call it Field of Dreams?
I think it might actually be called Field of Dreams in the file name.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, look, Sean is actually in both of our chats. I didn't see you there before. Hi, Sean.
Double the Sean.
Yeah, we had double the Sean going on here.
Double your pleasure, double your fun.
Let's see here. So so folks in the chat are talking about the beta, which basically we're running it's for anyone who doesn't know, we're running a technical beta to just sort of test some technical questions and stuff like that we have right before release. And it was a pretty small little subset of folks, and people signed up, and I believe that they a lot of the slots ran out because people were excited. This game is almost out.
Oh, somebody was saying you were talking about shotguns.
Oh.
Before you got interrupted.
Oh, yeah. Right, yeah.
I was going to say shotguns in the first game, people were like, I never use them because they're useless. And they weren't that great. This time, they're very useful,
Oh, there's so much
especially
fun.
for hordes.
Yeah.
They just annihilate body parts and heads and everything.
Oh, man, if you luck out and get kind of one of those more like automatic feeling shotguns, it's got like a decent sized mag.
I think we might even have one or two full auto shotguns.
I think so, yeah.
They're pretty rare, though. You have to look pretty hard for them to find them.
Yeah, we've got some pretty mean shotguns.
They just wreck face. Oh my god.
So, Han Solodolo is asking what Cale does on the game, and actually, so one of the questions that we get a lot when some of the previews just barely came out, because the preview embargo just lifted, and so just flood of previews came out. One thing people were talking about was when I'm playing co-op with my friends. This is a common question for any co-op game. If I'm playing co-op with my friends, do we save our story progress? Like if I complete mission 5 with my friend and I come back in my game, is mission 5 done in my game? And they were really concerned about that. And the answer to that question kind of requires us to explain how our story system works, because there is no mission 5 in our game.
That's right. That's a good segue.
So do you want to give us sort of a rundown on what the story system is in State of Decay?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got this beautiful sim of you're a group of survivors, you're plunked down in this desperate situation, that's all easily understandable. We got to survive, we got to survive the zombie apocalypse, and all the systems are kind of built around that sort of core, and that's great, that's cool, but in terms of motivation, it's why am I surviving? What's my long-term goal here? And we didn't want to do a full-on linear story in this game because we wanted to try some cool new things. We wanted you to be able to have a very different story than I did coming out of it, and even going beyond just kind of simple branching, really allowing you to build your story out of kind of more like narrative components.
And we learned too that so the demo only lasts 10 minutes, so Brant just ran into a horrible disaster. He's gonna have to restart. But one thing that we did was we paid a lot of attention to the way the community was playing our game.
That's right.
The first game had a linear story in addition to sort of the flexible stuff you could do. The first DLC pack had almost no story at all to it, and it was just survival.
Yep.
And that's Breakdown. And Breakdown is what people who stream the game and stuff, that's what they're still playing today. People got a lot of people think of the Breakdown experience as being State of Decay.
Yeah.
And so we're springboarding off that a little bit too,
Absolutely. And it lends itself to replayability because every time you start a new community, it's gonna be different. You're gonna have a different cast of characters with different sets of backgrounds.
I'll take a look at
different
this
wants and
community.
needs. Yeah, exactly. So
This is completely different. Each and every one of them has their own set of stats and traits, which you guys worked really hard on.
yeah, Jeffrey did a phenomenal job on this.
And those traits actually have a lot of meaning.
Yeah, check out this guy's name. So this guy's name is Greeny. It's probably a nickname they picked up either in the ROTC or when he was an amateur painter. I'm really not sure, but it's like he's just like anybody any character you might meet in a movie who is like, where did he get that nickname? And there's this whole backstory that the writers came up with. Like we tried to create a procedural system that would generate the kinds of characters that you would expect to see. Writers having spent hours on.
And believable too, because they don't have conflicting traits. At least we try not to have conflicting traits. So you won't find somebody who's like an Olympian who also has half a lung or something like that, right? And so it's not just total RNG. It's
there's a complicated procedural system that tries to make a character that comes together and makes sense.
Is that Puya?
We're not going to out people as characters in the game.
And so we take these characters, which are great building blocks for your story, you, the player that you get to tell, and we don't have the resources or the capability to tell the combinatorics here are astronomical, right? There's millions of potential combinations here, and we can't create a custom story for every single one of them that has a strong beginning, middle, and end. But what we did do, the compromise that we came to, is we also gave each of these characters one of 4 leader types. And that leader type really defines their personality and their outlook on the world and how they approach their problem solving, which is kind of what that trailer alludes to.
Because you notice there were 4 different personality types, people who cared about different things.
Exactly. And so the kind of more story missions in the game have to do with that. So a sheriff character might get a story mission about going out and helping somebody. Yeah. And then you might...
And the somebody is also a procedurally generated somebody who could live anywhere in the world and have any kind of identity. In my game, we could get the same a mission that's based on the same sort of story pieces.
That's right.
But mine is, a completely different person than yours is.
Yes, yeah. And so you get this mission to go help somebody, and then somebody else in your community who has a different worldview might get mad at you for going on that mission. They might say, why are we risking our necks, for these people? And so the sheriff might be at odds with, say, like the builder who just kind of wants to hunker down and protect the community, right? And so in that way, we give them these personalities that have very clear sort of motivations, right, that are also linked to kind of different play styles. So my hope is you either kind of maybe you see yourself in one of these characters and you're like, I'm really more of a trader. I'm not a super violent person. I just want to go out and collect goods, help people out, help my own community out. And that's how I want to approach the game. And then there's a character in the game that reflects that worldview.
Oh my goodness!
And you can kind of tell his story through
Look who
your
showed up!
actions. Oh, this is a very special stream, guys.
that is everyone's favorite zombie. But yeah.
And so the long-term goal of the game is initially to defeat the blood plague that's infested this town, right? And that's a very cool mechanical goal that there's these different nodes, and you have to go out and defeat all of them, and how you
plague
approach
hearts
that
is what they're called,
is completely up to you. Yes, plague hearts, and in order to help kind of encourage you to approach those in different ways. Those leaders also kind of help you think like, well, okay, maybe the sheriff can ally with some people who can provide him resources in exchange for supplies to help defeat these blood plague hearts, and
the warlords will be building up your military
arsenal,
capabilities.
Yep,
and,
exactly. And so in that way, that's kind of our act 2 of the story. So act 1 is sort of getting to know the characters. What's their worldview? Are they helping people? Are they not helping people? The second act is all about dealing with the blood plague, and how you deal with the blood plague really defines who your community is, because you could be super nice to other people and help them and get lots of allies in the fight, or you could totally mess with other people and kill them, take their stuff, and use
we got
that
people
stuff.
here making Negan references when we're talking
That's
about
right.
the
Yeah,
warlords.
be Negan if you want to be Negan. Absolutely. And the third act of the game is something that's particularly interesting to me, which is after you defeat that blood plague, you've kind of made a statement about who your community is. You have a leader. You've selected them. You may have followed a bunch of their suggestions in order to get them to be a leader. And so your community is kind of aligned around their worldview. And the game wraps up by having that leader suggest kind of a lasting project, making a lasting impact on the world. Like, okay, we've defeated the blood plague. What's next?
Yeah.
You know?
What's next for humanity?
Yeah, exactly.
Now that we've proven that we're not just victims of the zombies,
Yeah.
we can actually make our stamp on the world. What kind of stamp is it going to be?
Yeah, exactly. And in terms of how those stories wrap up, I think we should let these guys
people discover
find it. Yeah,
Totally.
play through the game a couple times and see a bunch of the different endings. And
So when you talk about the story of this game, it's not really easy to compare it to a game like The Last of Us.
No.
And you can't really even compare it to a game like Grand Theft Auto, because those have very specific stories that they're trying to tell. Our story system is actually a lot more like Civilization.
Yes.
Where it's like you are a player who's presented with a world to try to survive and thrive in. You're making a bunch of strategic choices along the way to do it, and then you're driving towards the ending that you care about, the ending
right.
that you want.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, when you're playing in a friend's game, it's not like they are literally playing through a completely different story than you're playing through.
Yeah.
And so you help them make progress on their story, but and your character, while they're there, they will grow, they'll get stuff, they'll they'll earn a lot of things, and that one character that you sent to visit them, their story gets to
Exactly,
get intertwined with theirs.
Yeah.
Then you bring that character home, and now you're telling your own story back in your own base.
Exactly right. Yeah, and I think that's a powerful thing to remember. Is it's while we do have all these systems to kind of build up characters and have their personalities reflect sort of in the community and how it gets built. At the end of the day, if that character dies, if that leader dies,
Yeah.
the story of your community continues, right? And you can choose to either build up another character to follow in that character's footsteps and kind of continue that worldview, or maybe that changed your mind completely. Maybe you were doing this compassionate thing, but somebody ended up betraying you, and your sheriff died. Then like maybe you're saying, okay, we are all defense now. We're done with this. We're not helping people anymore. It's warlord time, and that's the story of your community.
Oh, cool.
And so I think that's the real power in the kind of story system we've crafted here. Is every single person in this chat is going to have a different beginning, middle, and end, and a different series of events that unfolds to be able to get through this. And another really cool thing, I'm sure you've talked about the legacy rewards in this chat before.
Maybe not, actually.
Maybe not?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So each of those leader types, when you beat the game and complete the final mission with that leader, basically the story of that community wraps up, and you can start a new community with community members from that community. You get to choose which ones you want to bring with you into the new one. And the new community starts off with a set of benefits that is specific to that leader type. So if you're the warlord, you start with a bunch of, dope assault rifles.
We won't tell you. We don't need to tell you what other rewards are.
Yeah, they're cool.
But yeah, they're cool. But basically, the fact that you've got friends in another community
Exactly.
that's already finished their story, those connections give you advantages
Yeah.
for your future communities, and you can unlock multiple ones and decide which ones you want to bring in.
Yeah, so it's cool if you beat all 4 of these. You have all these different combos you can kind of create of these awesome rewards that you could just start the game with, and you can kind of experiment with new strategies based on starting at a different level.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really exciting part of the game that makes it fun to play through multiple times.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, Asgard SGC asks, how many companies that you made up do you have in this game? They've seen, you got Seconds Auto Supply back there.
There's lots.
You've got, they see, Bronto Gas made another appearance. We've got another gasoline brand that we've added. I mean, there's so many brands in this game.
Yeah.
Is it fun to come up with that stuff, Brand? I mean,
Loved coming up with that stuff. I was trained as a graphic designer originally, so
crap.
doing logos and stuff was part of my training.
So naturally, we outsourced all the logos. So
Right.
yeah. Unfortunately, we asked Brand a question right in the middle of fighting a feral, which is not usually good. And he's out of ammo.
Oh crap!
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Oh, this is great.
How does it end?
Oh no!
Oh no, we know how that ends. We know how that one ends. I get eaten, and they enjoy my spleen.
No, but you guys just did such a phenomenal job building out the world and all of these maps. I mean, they're all just such a joy to explore and find all the,
There's lots of fun stuff.
there's lots of fun
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Envy951 on Twitch is expressing some trepidation about outsourcing, but honestly, outsourcing when you use it right has actually become a really, really valuable tool for building enormous, complex worlds like this.
We couldn't have done it. We couldn't have done it without outsourcing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Now it's not. Now a lot of the stuff that we're we're trying to put our creative stamp on the game. A lot of the stuff we do in house, but there's tons of things like the chairs and the desks and the
Yeah, I mean, hundreds of props that we wouldn't have been able to produce in house because now, especially with the complexity of PBR lighting, the true material response on lighting.
yeah.
You have to add a lot more. It takes a lot more time when you're building props and doing the materials on them. We couldn't have done it. We would have had 3 chairs and a desk, and that was it. This game couldn't have been made without some really talented artists around the world, actually.
Sean's already answered this, but just doing my jab on Mixer was asking, will watching this stream spoil me for the game? And that's one of the best things about State of Decay 2 is the fact that it's kind of unspoilable.
It's virtually unspoilable.
I made a horrible mistake the other day. I was talking about Infinity War at my desk with somebody else who had seen it,
Right.
and I accidentally made a side reference to something.
Yeah.
That spoiled it for Jurgen, and I felt so terrible.
You should.
I've been torturing myself ever since. But it's just so easy to accidentally do that with something like Infinity War, which is all based on surprising the viewer with what happens in this plot. And State of Decay 2, I mean, yeah, there are going to be surprises. There are going to be things that completely take you off guard, but they're just for you. And your friend is going to have a completely different other set of surprises in their story.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's nothing to worry about.
All of our missions are built in a way that has to deal with the ever-present danger of death, right? They all have to be able to deal with that. And so,
Which is annoying for us.
yeah, it's annoying and it's time-consuming, but man, does it create a cool experience for you guys where, you could be doing right in the middle of this thing, and then a Juggernaut shows up, or Brant, can't fight a feral to save his life, and so it fails the mission. And,
I'm terrible.
But it's not just failing the mission. Sometimes it changes the nature of the mission, or it, you'll hear somebody react, or an enclave will leave because you've killed one of their members or something, and so it branches in all these different ways that it just ends up creating these fascinating stories for every individual player.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the thing I least like to do in this game, which is go outside at night because it's so scary.
It's so spooky.
But I do have a sweet band of
Yeah, one of my favorite missions that I played through the game, and I'm not going to give too many details on it, but it was one where some people asked me to do something, and I brought one of the characters with me, and then that person got killed, and the entire mission spiraled off into, now I've got to deal with this member of a community came with me, and I got them killed, and I got to go back.
That's
The
great.
other community say, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
And so my options there are different because I
Yeah.
got the character killed than they would have been if I hadn't.
That's right. Yeah. So that's some cool stuff
Oh,
in there.
hello, Plagueheart.
Aiden and Danny is asking whether Cleo is making a return. I'm not going to answer that. It's kind of, let you discover when or if Cleo makes another appearance. So not promising that one way or the other. I'd like to got to keep it cagey when it comes to Cleo.
I will be reading your fan theories though.
So Envy is asking about drifting with cars, flipping cars. I gotta say, the cars, I mean, I actually kind of like the driving in the first game, but the cars have gotten
Just have to
much
get
better
this
in
There's
the
so much
sequel.
fun. Yeah.
Oh, it's and we heard your cries for help about cars in the first game. There are
They are
ways,
much harder to permanently
Yeah.
get lost.
and I mean, like even if a car burns up, you can still recover stuff from them. It's not like you've
And you can even show up with a toolkit and fix it.
and
It's like,
fix destroyed cars in the field.
so yeah.
It's
Your favorite car, you'd have to work. I mean, you can probably find a way to lose your favorite car. You have to work really hard at it. You have to be pretty unlucky.
I pretty much keep looking for a car until I get one that's fast
Whoa.
enough that I can like do the cool like flipping 180 while I'm parking, like
Yeah.
push it into the parking spot.
Yeah,
and
but
be
yeah,
like, okay, I'm here.
My favorite cars are the ones where it's like it's weird. I've got this habit. I don't even know exactly what I do.
Yeah.
I've got this habit now with some of our cars where I can just do a 180 almost in
Yeah.
spot.
Yep.
You know? it's,
Yeah.
it's great. No, if you learn the way these cars handle, you can do some fancy stuff.
I want
with
to
them.
see some sick vehicle vids. Once this drops.
But one thing I'd love
this is
to.
why I don't like night.
You saw this a second ago. When Brant threw that giant fuel bomb at all those zombies, like when zombies catch on fire in the original game, zombie would stand there and go like, "Oh, what is
yeah.
happening? I am burning away," and they would stand in place.
Yeah.
Now burning zombies run right at your
It's
face.
terrifying. It's terrifying.
It's just
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and then they could. Oh man.
Then you got to stop, drop, and roll if they bring the fire to you.
It gets so messy fighting these plague hearts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Especially by yourself at night.
Yes.
Yeah. You
I'm
want?
gonna keep underlining at night.
Yeah. This is this reason why this game is co-op. It is much easier to take these suckers down if you got somebody else to deal with the
Invite
zombies on your back.
buddy.
That should do it. That should do
So
it.
just doing my jab on
There we
on Mixer asks, will the special personal abilities like Powerhouse and Nimble be available? It's not the exact same set of abilities you had in the original game, but yeah, each of the skills that your character has that you level up, they can branch off in a bunch of different directions. You can unlock special abilities with them, and each character, depending on what their traits are, might have access to different options. But do you want to like LB over there and?
Oh.
Oh, ow, no, not X.
Ouch. Don't do that, kids.
I don't even know if I've
What-
seen all
which
the
one are we
special
Oh yeah,
looking
just the
options.
skills.
Oh, skills.
Yeah, so if you go down there, you can see that. So the cardio skill up there, they're almost at 7 stars and ready to specialize, but not quite. Discipline, that's used to be wits. That character got their wits all the way up to 7 stars, and then they got to choose one of a couple different specialties. And the specialty they chose was discipline, which means they can carry more, they can like run around longer because they're just that hardcore.
Yeah. Between the depth of character stuff and the depth of the facility stuff, this game has gone over the top as far as allowing you to craft, to your very specific fantasy for the survival part of it. So.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like the guy who designed a lot of our facility and base stuff. The games that he plays in his spare time are so detailed and grognardy that it's amazing that he restrained himself enough to make this game accessible. But he did. Like you can totally get into the system, and everything is very self-explanatory. You can learn it, and it all makes sense. But there's a lot of detail. There's a lot of options available to you, and it's
You'll notice
pretty
I'm
cool.
refueling the car too. That's a big change.
Yep.
So yeah, actually, I think
That really changes the nature of how you move around the world and how you think about, using your resources and planning out trips ahead of time. I think it's a really fun addition.
It's another reason why I tend not to go out at night, because I almost always find myself on the other side of the map and running out of gas.
Surge2K asks if we added the ability to siphon gas from cars. You don't siphon gas from a car that you can drive, but there are dilapidated vehicles that are containers, and you can scavenge things from those vehicles, including parts and there's any number of different things you can get. So yeah, it is totally cool, totally possible to be able to pick up, to sort of have that fantasy of picking up gas from cars.
It is cool too how our loot system is such that it is randomized, but things are generally where you expect them to be. If you see a gas station, go check it out. There's
probably some gas there. Yeah, exactly.
Which I like a lot.
Oh, should I trade for some noisemakers?
Cot Jockey says the trailer park is back. My favorite part, actually, one of my jobs was naming things in the game, and my favorite part was naming the buildings in the trailer park, and you can't really see them because my face is covering it. But yeah, each of these trailers got its own name, so you can go and explore them. I think at least one of them is called the trailer with a smell. So go and try to find that one when you
I'm gonna troll these guys by using a firecracker that they just sold me to bring zombies right here.
Serge asks, "What's your favorite melee weapon?"
Oh, that was not a firecracker.
A fair melee.
Favorite melee?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite melee weapon?
My favorite, one of them is like the Bowie machete that I made.
Oh yeah, that thing's good. My favorite is probably the kukri, just because it's so light. It's really effective at dismembering, and I usually I've got one character in my game at home who she's very discipline focused, and so she's all about having a light load, carrying as little as possible, and just running fast and never getting tired. She carries a kukri.
There's a a technical axe, I think, of some sort.
Just in time, I can.
It's got like a bright green handle.
I can go to my.
What are you doing?
I just leveled up my shooting.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, but you just maxed it out.
Oh,
So you were already specialized in assault. So yeah, assault is an interesting one. It makes you good at handling recoil, so you can use full auto a little better, and it also lets you just kick zombies in the face if they get close to you when you're shooting them.
I think when you notice the difference the most between a character that is fully kitted out and fully leveled up is when they die, and you have to go to one of your newbie characters who doesn't have anything, and it's like, no, they're so bad.
So I can't see the name of this person because his name is light green, but he asks, his name is Zach Tactic. Can you upgrade cars? Yeah, there are ways to upgrade cars in the game. You'll want to get yourself an auto mechanics expert, and I think I can't remember. Does one of the leaders necessary, or I think it's just the expert?
It's just the expertise.
Okay, yeah. So you want to get somebody who's a mechanic and get them into auto mechanics, and yeah, you can. There's totally ways to upgrade your cars. It's not it's not a super finely detailed system because it's not the only thing the game's about. But yeah, you can definitely some of the most badass cars. Whoa. That you see Brant driving around, a lot of them are the result of upgrading cars.
This is not going to end well.
All these cliffhangers.
Saved by the bell.
Fiziel asks, can you zoom in with any firearm, or only the ones that are typically long range?
You can only zoom in with firearms if they have
a scope attached,
an optic
right?
or a scope.
Yeah. So you've got sometimes you'll have pistols or SMGs that have red dot optics, that kind of thing, and then you can zoom in a little bit, and then you'll get rifles that have full on scope, so you can zoom in pretty tight.
And to answer any of the questions for those of you not familiar with the first State of Decay, we do not have an explicit sniper scope view for this game.
Yeah.
But those of you who did play the first game will love the fact that the distances that you can shoot now are much farther out. So typically, if you can see it, you can shoot it.
Yeah, if we're bothering to draw the zombie on the screen, you can probably hit it with something, provided that you got good enough aim, your crosshair's tight enough. So let's see here. So we still got another 22 minutes, guys. So we're gonna keep trying to pay attention to your questions and play a few more rounds of this demo.
Weagle1 asks, it'd be cool if you could use a butt stroke, if you're, a butt stock to hit.
I was saying, butt stroke sounds anyway.
If you break your melee weapon and you run out of bullets, you will switch to your close combat weapon, which never breaks.
Yeah. So you've always got some kind of stabby that you can use.
You can decide to specialize in close combat fighting.
Yeah, that's true. That's something I've done with at least one of my characters. Is they don't carry a melee weapon at all. They just have their close combat stabby. Yeah. Oh yeah. So all of like sneaking up on a zombie and killing it. All those moves get quicker and better and really cool looking. You can do that
cool.
just sort of like.
I gotta try that.
Yeah, you should try it. It's great. It's
it
great.
makes you feel like
Here's that auto
total
shot.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever built one in this base.
Yeah. So True Vulgarian says most guns make excellent clubs. I would say that, but guns used as clubs don't make excellent guns anymore. That's a problem.
That's the easiest way to knock it out of
like alignment or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, don't get into the argument. Oh, but an AK, I can use it as a club and still shoot around corners. No, it's a video game.
So True Vulgarian also says that they want to see butt stroke as a new skill.
Come on.
So I think that
I made a mistake. Don't make me pay for it.
This is a radically
no,
new
actually,
video.
Weagle made a mistake.
I'm
You just
excited about
repeated Weagle's mistake. But there are some weird skills out there in the game though. So my favorite is Animal Facts. So go look for that one.
I've not seen that one.
Yeah, Animal Facts is rare. There's only a couple of traits to give it. I think I don't even remember what the two were actually. But yeah, you can. Yeah, there's a couple of traits to give it. Super rare skill.
That's cool.
Not the most useful one in the world, but tells you something about that person. So Zach Tactic asks, in co-op, can the other player interact with your base? So when you're a guest in co-op, you don't have access to the base screen, to the full-on base screen where you can just make all these strategic decisions about the base. But you can walk up to facilities in person and interact with them.
And the cool thing is, facilities you might not have back in your game, you can go craft stuff in your friend's base if they have like an upgraded forge or something like that.
Yeah, they've got like a super upgraded workshop and they can build all the craziest bombs in the game. You can come in as long as you've got the resources back at your home. You can use that thing to make yourself a bunch of consumables and take them back home.
Yeah, super cool that way. I'm Leaving Ditchwater. It's a new movie coming out. That's the name of it, Leaving Ditchwater.
It's not Ditching Ditchwater?
No.
That would suck. That'd be a terrible.
It would be. You've ruined it for me.
Penology, I got that reference. So let's see here. Oh, what are folks saying?
Oh, some people asked if we were playing this on the X. No, this is PC build.
Yeah, but we're not playing it so we've got a super powered PC in this room, and that's what I'm using to stream. But the machine we're playing it on is actually a several-year-old Alienware laptop. So we're not putting our finger on the scales and making the game look better than it does. This is how it runs on your typical gaming PC that somebody might have had for
I'm
a while.
playing on the X at home on a 4K TV HDR. It looks gorgeous. I mean, I'm really enjoying it.
I'm playing on my original Xbox One that we got right after launch, and it's great.
I actually played last night for the first time on a One here, and I was like, oh, it's on the One, and then I played it, and I was like, oh,
it was fine.
Yeah. I was like, not so bad.
Yeah.
But if you've got an Xbox One X, that is definitely the ideal console experience.
Get the X. It's sweet.
Zach Tactics asking if we can move to other maps or not. So we decided one of the things that really worked about our breakdown expansion that inspired a lot of the choices we made about this game was the fact that when you exhausted your map, you had searched every building and done everything you wanted to do there. You could basically spin up a new map that was starting over from scratch, and you can keep that same community of people that you really come to love, keep them going for as long as you want. And so that was a big part of the design of this game, was making sure that we've got the stuff that Cale talked about earlier on the stream about you can establish a legacy with your community and wrap up their story and watch the credits roll and be like, yeah, I did it. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just keep playing with the same community indefinitely. And when you exhaust all the resources on one map, you can, there's a thing you can do in your command center to sort of look for new places to live, and you can go and move your whole community to another map. And
it is it's a drastic decision to make.
Oh,
think about it. You're packing up everyone, you're leaving behind any communities you've met in your current map. So any activities you have going with them, are
any
left
radio
behind,
commands they've unlocked for you, and leaving all of that behind to go to a new place.
Yeah.
But if you want to keep that same group going indefinitely, you've got the power to do it. Daz asks, can you go back to that same map? The version of the map where you had all of these effects and you scavenged everything and you made all these friends and all that stuff, that version of the map is gone when you leave. But you can come back to that same map, just sort of a new, refreshed version of the map, and pretend it's a new town. So you can go back to that same map again, but not...
Or pretend like it's been wiped out.
Yeah, exactly.
Reinfested by the blood plague.
But yeah, the point of going to another map is to take your community to a fresh new place, and so that's what the feature's for, and so that's kind of how it works.
Ooh, if I claim this, I get access to coffee.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. So now you can make espresso at your base.
Civilization restored.
Yeah, I think Brian had a lot of fun going through all the different types of buildings out there and coming up with what they're for.
Yep.
In the original game, if you just claimed an outpost at a vanilla house or something like that, you'd get ammo by default just because, I don't know, ammo's useful and that's what we had to do. In this game, if you take over a suburban house as an outpost, you get beds. So we're sort of imagining that at night some of your friends are just going over and sleeping at this other house.
Yeah.
And we don't try to actually simulate that happening because that would be turned into a logistical nightmare.
Turns out that's super cool because the space in your base is so limited that being able to free up a couple
valuable slots.
By having beds in a house elsewhere is huge.
Yeah, you don't need to have those beds at home. You can use that spot for a still, which is much more important.
I always like to imagine which two it is that are going out to sleep there, though. It's being like, my two least favorite players in the community. You have
Stay
to
away
traverse,
from me.
all the space to go
Faziel's
sleep.
girlfriend says, "Oh, is that the game where you can make coffee? I like that game." You might be thinking of Job Simulator. Our game is not the same. I do not want to play this game in VR. Just because,
That'd be intense.
Hopefully the next version of this game will be daytime because I'm done with night.
Just loaded my last magazine.
There's a little bit of this pistol has a pistol sight on it, so
nice.
you get a little bit of zoom. But here's everybody's favorite. Talking about brands.
Oh yeah, is this the swine and bovine that you got right
And
there?
then right next to another of our favorite brands, the
Bronto
Bronto
Gas.
Classic State of Decay.
That's my favorite brand that we've ever done. It's Bronto Gas.
Sword and Keyboard and Mixer. It was asking about whether the game is playable on if you buy it in the Microsoft Store, is it playable on both PC and Xbox? And yes, it's a Play Anywhere title. So if you buy it on either of those places, you can play it on the other, and you can play with people.
crossplay.
Yeah, crossplay. So you can play with
it's
people
pretty-
on PC
pretty awesome.
when you're on the Xbox, and vice versa. And Sword and Keyboard, great name by the way, pointed out that they actually are a recent player of the original State of Decay. They discovered it on Game Pass, tried it out, and now they're on board. And I'm so glad that this game is still finding, the original game is still finding its audience, and we're really excited for the opportunity to try to find, new people who've never played State of Decay before with this
Makes me happy we put all that work into releasing Yos.
Yeah, Yoast being the Year One Survival Edition,
Yeah.
the Xbox One version of the game that folks are playing now. Because it was some effort. We were on this tiny team.
It was just a tiny little
It's like-
Skunkworks team
yeah.
that had to, but yeah.
Is Takuro still here?
Probably. I haven't seen him in a while.
Takuro, I got a present for you. What's that right there?
Oh, what?
Surge asks if you can move wreckage or debris out of the road. Only wreckage and debris that you create. If you blow up a car in the road, you can go repair that car and move it away. But most of the aspects of the stuff that we leave lying around on the map is stuff that'll stay there. However, tricycles you can move. So if there's a tricycle in your way, unlike the original game,
Yes,
you can knock the tricycle out of the way.
I went to great pains to find all the static mesh tricycles and replace them with movable ones, so that we didn't have the tricycle of Gibraltar situation going on.
And similarly, fences can be smashed. There's a lot of things that in the original game would have been static props are now physically dynamic.
The fence smashing feels really good compared to the original.
But not
one,
all
so.
fences.
Well, yeah, some
Anything that's
of them are
any of
built
the
well.
metal fences you can't break, and then if there's a super
This is a really
thick,
heavy,
really
thick
heavy
fence.
wood ones, You'll learn really quickly which ones won't work.
Yeah, there's the fences around, say, like the campground. It's like a stockade, and like you're not knocking that out.
But yeah, people. We had a friend of ours, a friend of the lab, show up last night and played, and I told him to crash through a fence, and he's like, "Why would you make me do that?" And I said, "Just drive through the fence." And he's like, "Oh."
A Chikuro spirit is here, by the way, but he's only talking about the buckstroke thing, so we're not going to really respond to him.
I showed you your stupid Easter egg, man. Come on.
Alfred Ben asks, "Are there going to be child zombies like in Dying Light?" No.
No. Definitive.
We're not doing that. So I mean, I realize in a real zombie apocalypse, there would really be child zombies, but when you get to decide what your zombies look like, yeah, it's okay to skip the most disturbing experience.
We're not going to do that.
Why not? Why not skip that? I play this
will.
game with my children in the room.
We have a lot of parents at this company.
Yeah, like my 3-year-old is like, "Daddy, kill it! Kill the zombie! Kill the zombie!" And I just, I'd rather it not be a baby zombie when I'm doing that. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that in the first place, but I definitely am glad that it's not a 3-year-old.
We like to push on some interesting themes in terms of like conflict and all of that in the mission system and the story and all that, but what we don't want to do is traumatize you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like
exactly. We want to challenge you, but not traumatize you.
It's just gratuitous. There's no
Yeah,
need.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
The game represents all of its themes perfectly well with adult zombies, so we'll stick with that.
Is this the Broken Sport?
That's a beautiful one too.
Oh wow, yeah.
That is quite a paint job.
Oh, it's the Hellion. This is the sort of Mad Maxy version of the small little compact.
Yeah, so this is one of our upgradable cars, and so you'll see like this one. This car normally is not found out in the world looking like this. You want to get an auto mechanics expert and make this happen yourself.
Yeah.
Serge just said repainting cars! ! It's more upgrading cars, and the cars. I think there are different like sort of colors.
There's lots of different
cars you can have. Yeah, so you can certainly go shopping for different colored cars.
We're not giving you the ability to choose that color.
People have better things to do in the zombie apocalypse than repaint their cars.
Just gonna go for a road trip.
True Vulgarian's reminding us of the pizza car. This feels a little bit like the pizza car. Only
Oh.
check out how fast this sucker
Yeah,
is.
this guy's ripping.
Wow.
Ah,
Is this the fastest car in the game?
it might be.
It might. Yeah, this is zippy.
I don't know. The apocalyptic sports car.
Yeah.
That
one's
one
really
might be
fast.
faster.
Here's a roadblock that actually didn't work, apparently.
Yeah.
Whoa!
So ASQD Gaming is asking about stealth and how stealth works.
Oh, well, I'll show you. Let me run around.
Oh, where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Must have been a rat.
He's like, where is he?
There's just an arm sitting there.
They're like, I'm pretty sure my food went this way.
Oh!
He almost turned around.
That's how we do it.
Look at that.
That's how we do.
Nice.
There's a double stealth right there to answer your question.
So if you have patience, you can stay safe in this game. I don't
relatively.
I don't do that.
Yeah, so basically, zombies detect noise, and so if you make noise, they'll turn to face you, and then they'll attack you if they can see you.
Yeah.
And so as long as you stay behind them and you don't make any noise,
So like if I go over here and quick search, I might actually cause I guess
a ruckus.
not.
Okay, yeah.
You're so good at searching. Wow.
But so let's show him. So that guy doesn't know I'm here yet, right? But watch that zombie. Boom. He's like, what? All those zombies go,
Hello.
hey, there's something over there. And if I keep doing that, they're gonna start moving over. More and more will start coming. So noise is.
I think our sound system is really intuitive.
It's.
I think if generally speaking, if there's something you think should make sound, it does.
It does. And if it's something that you think should be quiet,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
quiet. And sometimes we'll fudge it a little bit, and something you do will make a noise for you, the player, to hear for the positive feedback.
Yeah.
But effectively in the game, it's not going to make noise. The zombies won't hear you.
my
Just like that first zombie kill that he did made some noise for us, so we can enjoy the squishy
Right.
sounds. But it didn't alert the other zombie.
Yeah. But my favorite thing, which is jumping through windows.
Does make
It's your
noise.
favorite
Right?
Makes a ton of noise.
Uncle Sticky asks, so you mentioned somebody that is a mechanic. So will there be farmers, doctors, athletes, etc.? Yeah, so each character has got the 4 core skills that you need to survive. They've got cardio, they've got wits, they've got fighting, and they've got shooting. And each of those skills can be upgraded into different specialties based on, your choices as a player, or in some cases, that character's history will start them with one of those advanced
They're on
skills.
fire.
But then, I love that.
Sorry.
No, but then there's a 5th slot, and some characters have a skill in the 5th slot, and some don't. Some characters have a weird skill in that slot, like sexting or animal facts or lichenology, and some characters will actually have incredibly useful skills for the community, like mechanic, medicine, utilities, so they can help with power and water. A bunch of other stuff. And so so it really makes it like gardening, for instance. It really makes a difference to recruit somebody in one of those skills, or to go out and find a skill book and train one of your kind of more vanilla characters in one of those skills. Once somebody's my gardener and I'm relying on my farms to provide a bunch of food for people, I really care about my gardener and I don't want to get him killed.
I love the mechanic of finding a book and being able to train your guys.
We were just talking about
It's
sound.
Very cool.
Now we have tools that will
Oh, here we go.
Take advantage of it.
take advantage of that sound too. Come on, hurry up.
Pew, pew, pew.
So if somebody's not aggro on me, they'll
middle school all
get
over
drawn.
again.
You'll see that guy.
What's that?
He's going to start walking over there.
Yeah, so the best thing about these noises is that if you also have something else, like a bomb or a Molotov,
Like that.
Oh, except I needed to kill people with it.
Nice.
they'll hold still for you.
That works. Call Brant, Zombie Extermination Service.
And then you just run over and go, oh, I'm going to take care of Biz here.
Yeah, so just doing my jab is like, nice, you can train to be whatever you want. As long as your character's got an open slot. Like, if your character's already a gardener, or they're already a lichenologist, or they're already a sexting expert, then they can't. And so, like, when you're deciding who to recruit, one of the options you have when you're talking to a character you might recruit is learn about Survivor. And you can select that, and you can see what their skills are. And so you can tell, are they going to have, do they have an open space where you can train them? Do they have a skill you already need? Or, do they have a skill you want? Like, if you already got 2 gardeners and there's a 3rd gardener who wants to join your community, maybe you're like, hey, why don't you go start your own farm somewhere else? I'm going to go
Those are
find
some of
somebody.
those brutal moments in the games. You get like a mission where people are like, oh my god, we've been on the road for days. We please join your community. You look at their skills.
You're like,
Nah.
you guys cost food and beds.
Keep walking.
Keep walking.
Now, not every character costs the same amount of. There are some characters who eat less than other people. There's some characters who actually don't require beds. We've got there's a character who's like there's one character trait that says somebody likes to sleep outdoors, which means they don't cost a bed. So you can invite them into your community without having to provide a bed for them, which is great. There's another character who says can't sleep alone. Which means that character also doesn't cost a bed because they're crawling into bed with somebody else. So they have a morale penalty that you kind of pay for that. But there's all kinds of different ways that characters can bring traits in that like change the cost-benefit analysis of whether you want to have them in your community.
Or here's a really brutal decision. So let's say you've got 4 people in your community, and one of them gets blood plague. And
you've only got like
there's only so many ways to deal with blood plague. You can go out and risk your life to get blood plague cure and cure that person. If you don't have that, you can tell that person to take a hike.
Go deal with this yourself.
Or if you want to be extra careful, you can off that person right then and there and
euthanize them.
Yep. And maybe if they don't have any skills, contribute to your community. I don't know, just saying.
So Han Solodolo, no, you can't have 100+ members in your community. We really want each of these characters to feel important and like an individual to people who are playing the game. We don't want it to just sort of devolve into an endless sort of sea of similar faces. We want you to actually know each person and value each person. So we're the number of people in your community is limited. But honestly, as you're inviting people one by one, you're going to be feeling the cost of each person.
No.
The food cost, the beds cost, the morale cost. And I'm sitting here answering this question while way more important things are happening on the screen.
I'm not going to make it. Oh! I got pulled off the ladder.
Video games are hard, kids.
Oh no!
Oh, he got you.
Oh, no. Oh, of course the jug comes in and steals the kill.
Oh, Highbrow is dead.
There's somebody else to back him up there.
Wow!
Got any left for me, guys?
Wow. You only got 8 seconds left, so
There
what's
was-
the point, right?
There was way too many zombies going on.
Wow. Well, you
That's
know what?
too bad.
We are out of time, and so this last demo is going to be our last one. But thanks to Brant for playing this game and,
Yes.
and keeping us going while we all.
So great to see all of you. Thanks for everyone who's new, who's joined us. We love our community, and you can check us out on Discord if you want to talk to us about the game. Also follow Sean over at State of Decay Twitch.
Yeah.
State of Decay 2.
Yeah, so he's at State of Decay, just at State of Decay, I believe, on Twitter.
Okay.
And
Or,
then
sorry, Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, on Twitter. And I mean, I think he's also State of Decay on Twitch because he's in the chat here, so you can. But I don't think he streams from that name. But anyway, so yeah, we there's less than 3 weeks left until State of Decay 2 comes out. We're all super excited about it,
awesome.
and I just want to say, thanks to Brent for being here. Thanks to Cale, and and we're going to get out of here. But thank you, and most of all, thanks to all of you for coming here and chatting
That's
with us
right.
today.
We love you guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Been fun.
So yeah, we will see you later.